Let me tell you something that might be uncomfortable at first. If you feel unmotivated most days, it's probably not because you're lazy. It's because your body has already decided that effort is too expensive right now, and that decision happens before you ever consciously think about it. Most people blame themselves for this. I know I did. I just need more discipline. Other people can do this. Why can't I? Maybe I'm just not built for this. That story feels true, but it's wrong. Motivation isn't a personality trait. It's a biological response. Your body is constantly asking one question. Is this a good time to spend energy? When the answer is no, motivation disappears. Not because you're weak, because your system is doing its job. Think about how this shows up in real life. You wake up tired. You grab coffee just to function. You push through work. By the end of the day, the idea of doing anything that requires focus feels heavy. Going to the gym, working on a side project, even having a real conversation. So you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow it's the same thing. That's not a moral failure. That's a depleted system. Let me tell you about my friend Marcus. Software engineer, smart guy, always had big goals. For months he kept saying he'd work on his own app after work. Every night, same story. He'd get home, sit on the couch, and scroll for hours. He'd go to bed feeling guilty, promising tomorrow would be different. He thought he had a discipline problem. He bought productivity books. He tried app blockers. Nothing worked. Then he started wearing an Oura ring just out of curiosity. What he saw surprised him. His resting heart rate was elevated every night. His HRV was consistently low. His sleep was fragmented, waking up 4 or 5 times without realizing it. His body was never actually recovering. No wonder he had nothing left by 6 p.m. Here's what most people miss. Your brain doesn't care about your goals. It cares about survival, recovery, and energy balance. If your sleep is inconsistent, if your stress never comes down, your brain pulls motivation offline, like a circuit breaker. Can you override that with discipline? Sure, for a little while. That's why people feel great starting a new routine. But discipline is a temporary override. Biology always wins. That's why people feel motivated for a week or two, then crash. Nothing changed underneath. Back to Marcus. Once he saw his data, he stopped forcing productivity. He made 3 small changes. Cut caffeine at noon instead of 4 p.m. Set a consistent bedtime, even weekends. Stopped looking at his phone in bed. Within 2 weeks, his HRV started climbing. His resting heart rate dropped. He started waking up actually rested. And here's the interesting part. He didn't feel some big rush of motivation. He just wanted to do things again. He'd get home and actually feel like opening his laptop. Not because he forced himself, because his system finally had the capacity. That's motivation returning. Not because he summoned it, because his body allowed it. Think about procrastination this way. People assume it means they don't care. But watch what they avoid. They avoid things requiring sustained effort. They don't avoid scrolling or easy distractions. That's your brain conserving energy, choosing the cheapest option because it doesn't trust there's enough in the tank. Once you understand that, you stop fighting yourself and start fixing the conditions. This is the shift most people never make. They force motivation instead of earning it biologically. They add pressure instead of removing drains. They pile on routines instead of stabilizing energy first. Motivation isn't something you summon, it's something you unlock. When recovery improves, motivation follows. When stress comes down, motivation follows. When energy becomes predictable, motivation follows. Not because you change who you are, because your body finally trusts that effort is safe again. So if you've been stuck, stop asking what's wrong with me. Ask what has my system been responding to. That question changes everything. If you want to test this yourself instead of guessing, we made a short course on running simple health experiments with your wearable data. It's $1, mostly to filter for people who are serious. Links in the description.